On this episode of Trying Not to Sink, Lynn does a little touch-up painting on some stress cracks. I find a better option for our freshwater pump, and then we upgrade the boat's sound system. My name is Ed. I'm an ex-musician, turned politician, turned accountant, who now imagines himself a sea captain. This is Lynn. She's an ex-model, retired photographer, and the love of my life. 3 years ago we bought a boat. No experience and completely clueless. Since then, we have traveled over 10,000 miles along the Atlantic coast and the Bahamas. Join us as we continue the adventure, exploring exciting places, meeting new people, and having the time of our lives while trying not to sink.
Hi guys. So today I'm playing with paint, and on this Hatteras, the color white we can't get right. We bought this bright side polyurethane off-white, which was not white enough, and then we bought the bright white, which was too white. And we also used the Hatteras colors, which are too yellow. So now we're making our own, and we put 50 of this off-white and 50 of the bright white, mixed it together, and it still wasn't right. It's too pink. So we have this paint dye kit that we used for the table upstairs that we bought, and it's got all different pretty colors, but I've been adding green in slowly to get rid of that pink, and I think I'm almost there, and I'm at 10 drops now, and I will be at 12, I think, by the time it's all done. And hopefully it will look really good. And what I'm doing with this, besides the repairs Ed is making, is we have all these stress cracks that are around the boat. And winter's coming, and up north it gets really cold, and if it rains and the water goes in those cracks and ices up, well, it's gonna look uglier. So I wanted to make sure they're all sealed. So I have a tiny little paintbrush, and I'm slowly but surely getting the color right, and hopefully the boat will be all sealed up and look really nice for winter, and we won't get any more massive cracks. It's not the painting I like to do, but it's still fun. Let me know what you guys think. And aren't these colors pretty? Maybe I should just add this and tie-dye our boat. 1, 2, okay.
While Lynn is working on painting stress cracks on the boat, I'm tackling a pump problem we've had. We had it about a year ago it started, but we haven't been at sea that much, so I haven't bothered fixing it. What it is our 32 volt pump that's operated by the batteries, which is used to supply water from the holding tanks throughout the boat when we're at anchor or when we're underway, has failed. Now, sometimes you get lucky on repairs, sometimes you don't. If you remember last week where I had to spend $2,000 on a turbocharger, this week I got lucky. I don't have the pump here, I've already carried it back to the car, but this is the old system. It was a big pump that sat up here, and what it does is it pumps from your holding tank into this accumulator tank, and there's a pressure switch here that when the water pumps up to say about 40 psi, this pressure switch will turn it off, and then that's how it basically circulates, water to your boat. You turn on the faucet, it empties the accumulator tank. When this senses it getting down to say 15, 20 psi, it turns the pump back on, fills the tank back up. Anyway, this was the old technology, and the whole system, we had a $600 pump, this is like a $100 tank, and a $60 switch, and $800, $900 altogether if I had to replace everything. However, what I was able to replace it with now is I got this, flow jet. It's a pump, and the way the new pumps work is that instead of having a tank and a switch and all that, there's actually a switch built into the pump. So what it does is it senses when the water pressure is too low or when it gets high enough, and it turns the pump off. And it doesn't need an accumulator tank, because the way it actually works is it senses the pressure of the water, and it spins the pump at a different rate depending what the need is throughout the boat. So it's pretty cool, and best of all, this was like just over $100, you know, $125, something like that, and replaced this whole thing, took up a lot less room, and fortunately FlowJet makes them in the 32 volt version, which is what we need here on a Hatteras. So here, I'll show you what it looks like installed, because I just finished doing it. It's the pump, that's it. It's about the size of my hand. This whole platform was built for the other contraption with the accumulator tank, and a big pump on top, and the switch hung out over here, and it took up a lot of real estate. Right now, basically, you got this line coming from our holding tank, goes through the pump, and then goes into our system. There is another accumulator tank in general here to just make I guess, smoother water flow throughout the boat. And that's it. Wired right into the 32 volt system, and it's very, very quiet, which is great too, because the other one was noisy as hell. And right now, you can see it's holding at 30 psi, which is good. If this drops down to about 20, it'll turn back on. And I am thrilled with this thing. Coincidentally, our marina is having a water problem today, and there's no water pressure. So we are using this today, even though we're in a slip. So sometimes you just get lucky.
We always get lucky, punk.
The great thing about painted boats is they always have a shine. The downside is stress cracks and chips. Most of these cracks were there when we bought the boat, but we did make a few ourselves.
Hey, what are you doing?
I thought I'd take advantage of this kind of rainy day to update and upgrade our speaker systems in the boat. In the back here, or the aft rather, they had these all-weather speakers kind of mounted here, and they're okay. They didn't suck or anything, but they don't need to be outdoor speakers here. So I had an extra pair of these Bose 201s at our land house that we weren't using. So I am installing them in place of this, and I think I'm probably going to take these and mount these where the loudspeakers are up on the front of the upper helm, because we actually have no sound outside. There's no music that we can play out there. I'm always carrying a little portable box. So anyway, I think I'm going to get some use out of these. But these are going to sound much better in this room, and that's what I want. As an ex-musician, I'm kind of a little bit particular about having decent sound in the room. And although these aren't, top of the line by any means, I used to keep these in the billiard room, and they sounded great there, so I'm sure they're going to sound really nice here too. So on the upper helm, I'm replacing these old Optimus speakers, which never really sounded very good to begin with, and they're all yellowed. And I picked up a pair of JBLs. Here's the box. Here they're the GT629s, and I've used these speakers before. They sound really good, so I'm very pleased to be changing these out finally and putting something that I like in. Also, I have a volume control that I'm installing as well. It's a ohm adjusted volume control. That way when we're underway and we need to kill the music real quick to hail somebody or whatever we may need to do, we can just reach right over, turn this dial, and kill all the sound on the bridge. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'm gonna hopefully get this done before the sun goes down. Final piece to this puzzle is this this stereo that I put in, this receiver. It's a Fusion R70, I believe it is, and it replaces the original stereo that came with the boat, and that was an old Marantz, big old, beautiful Marantz. I had one myself in the 80s. Sounds great, but it's huge, heavy, and hot. There was also a CD player, which no one listens to CDs anymore. So anyway, I pulled it all out and I put this Fusion in. The nice thing about this is there's 2 zones, and it's also a 4 ohm stereo. And all the speakers in this boat, except for the new ones I put in, were 8 ohm speakers. So by wiring them parallel, I could get them down to 4 ohms, and that enabled me to use the 2 zones to really get 4 rooms out of it. And then I did a little other tricky wiring to do some things in series to get the 5th room that I needed. So this is Bluetooth. It is, we have also our Sirius radio connected up to it. So this does everything we need. It's 12 volts, so I have it, an inverter running to it, so that it runs all the time. And we're very pleased with it, and it sounds great, and it powers up every room in this boat.
I got a feeling it's something ain't right. I'm so scared.